The movie kicks off with a young woman named Freda who dreams of becoming a nail artist with a quirky animal themed style. For now, though, she's stuck working as a waitress. She spends her downtime posting photos of her nailed designs on social media. One day, while scrolling online, she comes across an interview with Slater King, a tech billionaire. He's publicly apologizing for some vague, inappropriate behavior and announces he's stepping down as CEO. He also mentions buying a private island where he grows his own food and raises chickens. Freda is instantly smitten with Slater. She already had a crush on him and now she's completely fascinated, looking up more about him online. Feeling stuck in her routine, she vents about needing a serious vacation. A few days later, Freda and her roommate Jess get hired to work as waitresses at Slater's annual gala. Before they start, Freda's boss warns her not to repeat what happened at last year's event when she tried to approach Slater. Freda insists that he came up to her and complimented her nails, but her boss still tells her to keep low profile. The event is ridiculously luxurious. Everyone's dressed to impress. While working the floor, Freda keeps sneaking glances at Slater. Later, Jess pulls her into the locker room and reveals she bought two fancy dresses so they can blend in with the guests. They change clothes and join the party, pretending to be part of the elite crowd. While Freda is trying to get closer to Slater, she accidentally bumps into a waiter and falls flat on the floor. Embarrassed, she looks up and sees Slater offering her a hand. They introduce themselves, and to her surprise, he starts introducing her to his inner circle. There's his therapist, Dr. Rich, his childhood friend Cody, head of security Stan, right hand man Vic, two women named Heather and Camilla, a college grad named Lucas, a DJ named Tom, and Sarah, a reality TV star. Freda's night turns into a whirlwind of laughter, drinks, and attention. She can't believe she's hanging out with her idol. But just as the party is in full swing, Slater's assistant Stacy reminds him it's time to head to the island. He leaves and Freda chats with Jess about how unbelievable the night was. Moments later, Slater unexpectedly returns and invites both of them to join on the trip. They eagerly agree. The group, minus Dr. Rich, boards a private jet to the island. When they arrive, Freda is blown away by the sheer luxury of it all. Stacy shows up to collect everyone's phones, saying they're here to disconnect from work. Everyone complies, though Jess seems hesitant. Slater then personally escorts Freda to a room which is already stocked with expensive clothes and beauty products. After he leaves, Freda showers and applies a unique perfume she finds. As she's getting ready, an old maid suddenly walks in and calls her Red Rabbit, acting like she knows her. Freda is confused and asks what it means, but the woman just works out. Outside, she meets up with Jess, who finds it odd that they have clothes waiting for them when the invite was last minute. Freda brushes it off, saying that's just how rich people roll. They link up with the other girls who are all wearing similar outfits, but no one seems to find it weird. Eventually, they all meet up with the guys at the pool. Slater keeps eyeing Freda despite Sarah trying to flirt with him. He later gives Freda a private tour of the island and introduces her to a rare flower called Desideria, which the perfume is made from. He also warns her about large vipers on the island, which are being cleared out by staff. Then he gets personal, telling her he remembers almost nothing from his childhood before age 10 and sees Dr. Rich for therapy to help with repressed memories. Veda thinks it's odd, but Slater says forgetting can be a blessing. During the tour, they run into Stacy, who's carrying a bunch of red gift bags. That night, they all gather for a candlelight dinner due to a generator outage. Freda spills something on her dress, but Vic distracts her by asking about her job. She shrugs, saying she's still figuring things out. Slater jokes about Vic's missing pinky finger, but Vic doesn't respond. Instead, he pulls out a small bottle of MDMA. The group starts partying hard. Later, when Freda heads to bed, she notices the stain on her dress is gone. She finds it strange but doesn't dwell on it. The next few days are full of non-stop champagne, poolside lounging, and drug-fueled dinners. One night, Slater notices the scar by Freda's eye and asks about it, but she says she has no idea how it happened. Then they talk about her nail art brand, which she calls Nail Mouse, a mashup of animals and nails. Slater seems intrigued but suddenly excuses himself and rushes off, leaving behind his vaporizer. Later, Freda notices dirt under her nails while holding the vaporizer, which unsettles her. The next morning, she tries to return it and sees Slater leaving a session with Dr. Rich. She greets the doctor and reminds him of their brief chat at the gala, even referencing the joke about blinking twice if in danger. He nervously acknowledges her but hurries off, carrying one of the red gift bags. That night, everyone's dancing until a scream cuts through the music. Jess has been bitten by a snake. Slater quickly stills it and tells her the venom isn't deadly, but Jess starts panicking and storms off. Freda follows her and Jess says she wants her phone back and wants to leave. She's convinced something shady is going on, but Freda refuses. She finally feels seen and happy here. Jess reluctantly agrees to stay. Later, Jess experiences a nosebleed while alone. The next day, Freda gets ready as usual shower, perfume, sunshine. On her walk, she finds a red bag in front of her room. Inside, she sees dozens more red bags. The old maid appears again, calling her Red Rabbit and offering her a green liquid. Freda drinks it, then the maid points to snake remains, revealing that the liquid is actually venom. Horrified, Freda runs out. She then has a bizarre dream where Jess hands her a knife and tells her to hide it. When Freda wakes up, she is disoriented and her appearance worries Sarah. Lucas shows up with a bruise, but no one reacts. No one even remembers Jess. Panicked, Freda rushes to Jess's room only to find it empty, like no one ever stayed there. Back in her room, she finds a knife hidden behind the mirror. Sarah walks in holding a lighter engraved with Jess's name. Freda insists Jess was real, but Sarah doesn't remember. Freda starts to put the pieces together. She tells Sarah about all the weird things happening, the dirt under her nails, the bruises, and the memory lapses. Sarah shows her own mysterious bruise and admits that Cody is the only person she actually knows. He'd approached her at a coffee shop and invited her here. They realize they're being manipulated and drugged. Freda remembers something Slater once said: forgetting is a gift. She and Sarah suspect the perfume is drugged to make them forget. Freda says drinking the venom made her start remembering. They find more venom in the room and decide to mix it with tequila. They give it to Heather and Camilla, hoping it'll help them recover the memories. Stacy joins and drinks some too. She warns them that the men will return soon. Freda sneaks off to search for their phones. She tells Sarah to scream if the men return. Not long after, Sarah gets a nosebleed, just like Jess. When the men return, Slater asks where Freda is. Sarah says she's in her room. Meanwhile, Freda breaks into Slater's villa and finds a locked cupboard. She opens it and locates the phones, but Sarah's scream alerts her. As she hides, she discovers a stash of Polaroid photos showing different people holding red bags. Slater walks in, unaware that Freda is hiding. The snake venom kicks in, giving Freda a nosebleed and triggering horrifying memories. She remembers being tied up and tortured. Jess had regained her memory too, which is why Stan killed her. Terrified, Freda runs to Sarah and tells her everything. They decide to play along until the other girls remember. That night, Camilla suddenly screams. She remembers. In a rage, she stabs Tom to death. Heather's memories return too, and she chases Vic. Sarah stabs Cody in the hand. Heather smashes Vic's face with a chessboard, but Stan shoots her dead. Stan sees Freda and chases her. Just as he's about to shoot, Sarah kills him with a rock. Meanwhile, Slater kills Camilla and drags Vic inside. Lucas, still under the influence, is confused. Stacy finds Freda, and it's clear she remembers, but she wants to keep forgetting. She attacks Freda, who kills her in self defense. Sarah finds Cody and kills him. Freda and Sarah reunite. Freda shows her a Polaroid from a year ago. She's been here before. They arm themselves and confront Slater. Lucas opens the door and is shot. Slater overpowers Freda and pins her down. She has a flashback, her escape attempt a year ago, her red scar, the red rabbit, Neil design. Back in the movement, Slater tries to convince her to forget again, but she secretly cut herself free. Sarah starts firing from outside but runs out of bullets. Slater grabs her. Freda reveals she spiked his vape with the perfume. Disoriented, Slater collapses. A fire breaks out. Freda escapes, letting the flames consume the villa. In the final scene, Slater is at the new gala, vacant and confused. Dr. Rich approaches, but Freda, now his wife and the CEO, cuts him off. She smiles coldly and reminds him that she remembers everything while secretly drugging Slater's vape. Thank you for watching. If you love intense psychological thrillers and deep movie breakdowns, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to CineSnap. More wild stories are coming soon.